The terror group Al-Qaeda has a new target, the U.S. train system. Now, in Al-Qaeda's latest propaganda magazine, it provides a how-to guide urging lone wolves in the West to derail trains in America. With more, we've got Fox Business's Jeff Flock. Jeff, what is Al-Qaeda calling on its followers to do exactly?
Well, what they are trying to have them do is become, as you say, lone wolves who will try to derail trains like this. You know, there are well over 200,000 miles of train track in the country. It's freights like this one, as well as passenger trains. And much of that is in the location that we are in right now, which is a very remote location here in Gary, Indiana. What they've done is put out a how-to guide for how to derail a train in that issue of Inspire magazine. You know, that magazine, very slickly done, tells people how to commit various terrorist acts. Well, this month, the subject is trains and how to derail them. It's through the use of what they call a train derail tool. It's something that the railroad actually uses when someone's working on the track. They'll put this derail tool on in case the train somehow blows through and gets through the warning lights. It essentially will take the train right off the track. Al-Qaeda has tried to teach people how to make one of these devices out of cast concrete and reinforced steel and put them on the tracks in remote locations like this one where they wouldn't be found, and that the trains would then derail. They might not cause tremendous damage, but they would cause a lot of problem. And so that's what Al-Qaeda is trying to do, just terrorize folks. I think we've got a quote from the magazine, Inspire magazine. They say that their goal is to, quote, continue to bleed the American economy to more losses, to increase the psychological warfare, and make it worry, fear, and weaken much more. There's the quote. There was the train. And there you have it. Liz?
Great reporting, Jeff. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Now, this new terror threat that Jeff was just reporting about for U.S. train commuters, it's raising a lot of concern for Americans. Let's bring in the president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. He's Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. Good to see you, Doctor. What do you think of this new push to use trains now, to derail trains? You know, ISIS has advocating using vehicles as weapons. We've seen them follow through on that. Are you concerned about this new threat?
Well, absolutely, Liz, and it should remind us that we have to stay vigilant, that the see something, say something should be at the top of our mind. And we also have to remember how difficult it is for Homeland Security. I mean, these guys are constantly taking hard targets and making them soft. We saw with Manchester, they took a hard target and the audience leaving became a soft target because it was outside the stadium. San Bernardino was a healthcare facility. Now, after we had reports of Homeland Security a year ago talking about vulnerable points, and one of the vulnerabilities they talked about was our track system, now you see Inspire magazine talking about it. They will constantly use our own openness in our society, where our Congress and Homeland Security talk about things to do to make us safer, to actually pick out our vulnerabilities. And that's why at the end of the day, this might all be a distraction. They might be looking at other areas where people come together. Their Inspire magazine had vehicular jihad, as you mentioned, talking about any gathering being a target. So we have to remain vigilant. And as President Trump and Secretary Mattis and others start targeting them in Syria and Iraq, they're going to do everything possible, because one successful attack will do so much to recruit even more jihadists.
That's an important point. You know, Doctor, we've heard about the threats to the utility, the electric system, the water system, not the train system. Now this Al-Qaeda magazine, to your point, did talk about how weak the security is for the U.S. rail system. How do you think the U.S. is in the scorecard of protecting the rail system from such attacks?
Well, it looks like we have a lot of work to do. There's 100,000 miles of rail systems, and pretty much most of the security is around the terminals where we have entry and exit. So at the end of the day, you know, there's going to have to be more probably observation through cameras and other things to see if these little devices get put on. And they will try to commit one act that will cause some type of mayhem and chaos, and then they'll take credit for it and move on from there in their recruitment. And there's so many thousands of jihadists that are coming back from Syria and elsewhere that are part of their recruitment pool that we have to be vigilant for. Not only those jihadists, but the precursor ones that would try to penetrate those vulnerable areas.
Dr. Jasser, we love having you on. Come back soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The YouTube duo.